Carol checking in. Nope, everything's under control now. No need to send in a unit. Understood.
Wow, guys. Wow. Okay, so I just watched the newest episode of OKKO, episode 39, season 1 from OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, and this episode was very good. So first, let's do a quick recap of the episode, what I think about the episode, and then my final thoughts of OKKO as a series. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So the episode starts off with OKKO and all his friends hanging out in the plaza, and they're about to end their shifts. So once they end their shifts, a huge villain named Seymour from Carol's and Mr. Guard's past comes back to haunt them. So basically, the villain tries to punch Mr. Guard, but Carol saves him, and this triggers a flashback. So the flashback is basically back when Mr. Guard and Carol were back at Point. And I really like the flashback episodes. I was like, okay, this is a flashback episode. It's gonna be like the Glory Days or Know Your Mom. So I'm watching this episode and I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. It's about Gar and Carol, which were named Elbow and Silver Spark, and that's what I'm gonna be referring to them for the rest of the video. So Elbow wants to axe out Silver Spark. So he has this whole plan about asking her out with this sandwich, asking them out to like eat the sandwich together. But Rippy tells Elbow that Silver Spark is taken by Laser Blast, another member of Point. So Elbow, you know, he's pretty upset about this. He's pretty sad. And then they have a mission. Silver Spark has a mission to go on, and of course no, it's not Silver Spark, it's Laser Blast. Laser Blast has to go on a mission, and of course Silver Spark wants to go because that's her, you know, boyfriend, and they're like, yeah. So this makes Elbow jealous. So Elbow wants to go with Silver Spark and Laser Blast on this mission. He wants to try to impress you know, Silver Spark. So Laser Blast goes off on the mission, and he says, oh, stay here as backup in case I need your help. I'll be back, trust me, I'll be back. So he goes off to fight the villain, and this is Elbow's chance to talk to Silver Spark, and he basically fails at this. He basically gets friend zoned. And yeah, so when Silver Spark hears this huge bump at this store, she wants to go and inspect what happened, but Elbow slows her down and gets in her way. And then they hear this huge explosion, and then Silver Spark goes to the explosion and realizes that Laser Blast is dead. Oh, spoiler alert, Laser Blast is dead. Oh no. But when she realizes that Laser Blast is dead, she is mad at Elbow, and she blames Elbow for all of this. And then it goes back to Carol saving Mr. Guard from the punch, and then Mr. Guard's like, oh, I'm sorry about the whole thing with you and Laser Blast, and she's like, oh, it's okay, I was just caught up in the moment. And yeah, so then she saves him from Seymour, and then they basically defeat him, and then they hug it out, and this leads to one of the most funniest scenes in OKKO so far. And KO's like, oh, should we hug at the end of all our fights? And like Rad's like, yeah, and then Eden's like, no. He's like, Rad's like, oh no. I just like that. I just like that clip. It's pretty funny to me. So then Carol goes back into her dojo, and then she's like, oh no, I got him. I had this all covered up. So this is the whole bombshell of the episode. This is what convinced me to make a video of this episode, and this was pretty exciting. So let's get into what I think this actually is. Okay, so what do I think this is? No, I do not think that Carol is evil. I really think that Carol is still with Team Point. That's what I think. I think that since this villain was from Team Point, that she contacted them and said, "Oh, Seymour came back, but don't worry, I have him under control." I know most people are gonna be like, "Oh, Carol's evil. What the heck?" No, I think this is gonna lead up to a reunion episode with Point. So yeah, that's what I think this whole thing is. I really don't think that this is gonna be anything huge with Carol becoming evil. This was actually a huge plot line, but I don't think that Carol's actually gonna become evil. So yeah, that's my speculation for it. So let's get into what I think of OKKO as a series so far. Okay guys, this has now made me a fan of OKKO. I was already a casual fan, but now I am a fan of OKKO. Which I mean by this is I'm gonna watch all the episodes as they come out. And yeah, and this episode also convinced me that OKKO is better than Steven Universe. Yes, and the reason is because OKKO now actually has some continuity, has some story to it, and most of its episodic episodes are pretty good. And that's why I like OKKO better than Steven Universe, is because when Steven Universe takes a break from their huge plot line, their other episodes are kind of bad. Yes guys, I really do not like Steven Universe, what you could say, filler episodes. They're pretty boring to me. For example, Future Zoltron Boy, I think that's what it's called. That episode was so boring, guys. That episode was very boring. Of course, you have some good episodes like Mindful Education and stuff like that, but we're not talking about Steven Universe. We're talking about OKKO. So let's get into OKKO. This made me a legitimate fan of OKKO. I'm gonna start watching it even more, and this is where I want OKKO to go. I do not want OKKO to be a huge continuity heavy show. I want it to be less continuity and more episodic. And I really hope that OKKO goes this route, because I've seen this with a lot of shows. Star, Steven Universe, Adventure Time, shows like that. They first start off more episodic, and then they become more and more continuity heavy. And I really do not like this. I really do like those shows. I really love Steven Universe. I like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and I really like Adventure Time, but not the later episodes, because those are way too continuity heavy. They add too many new characters, and Adventure Time is the worst example of this. I do not want OKKO to be like Adventure Time or Steven Universe. I want it to be more of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Have this be basically Cartoon Network show that has more of the 1 hour premieres or 30-minute episodes like that. Cartoon Network can advertise it oh my goodness, something Carol reunites with Point, see what happens, and like that. They could advertise it like that. OKKO could be Cartoon Network's show that has I don't know, I really don't know, but OKKO could be, I don't know what kind of show it's like. I just see Cartoon Network, how they advertise TKO. There could be way more episodes like that, and Cartoon Network could be like, oh, watch this on Veterans Day, or watch this on Thanksgiving, or watch this on Christmas, or something like that. So yeah guys, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. And this made me a legitimate fan of OKKO. I really like OKKO now, and I'm really excited to see what new episodes OKKO makes. And that's all I have to say, and bye.